Hello everyone. Let's we see about software engineering by Balakumari, student of third BSc CS from KCS Kashinada College of Arts and Science. Let's we see the concepts of software engineering. Next slide is software design. Software design deals with the transferring the customer requirements as described by the SRS document into a form that is implementable using a programming language. The next point is for a design to be easily implementable in a conventional programming language, the following items must be designed during the design phase. The next point is different modules required to implement the design solution. The next point is the control relationship among the identified modules. The relationship is also as the call relationship or invocation relationship among modules. The next point is interface among the different modules. The interface among different modules identifies the exact data items exchanged among the modules. The next point is the data structure of the individual modules. Algorithms required to the implement the individual modules. The next point is thus the objective of the design phase is to take the SRS document as input and produce the above mentioned documents before completion of the design phase. The next point is we can broadly classify the design activities into two parts, preliminary or high level design. High level design means identification of different modules, the control relationships, and definition of the interface among them. The next point is the outcome of the high level design is called the program structure or software architecture. The next slide. Let's just see about the difference between good design and bad design. Let's just see the good design and bad design. The good design. If the design is good, then it will not exhibit repel effect. That is, change in one part of the system will not affect other parts of the system. Let's just see about the bad design. First point. A bad design will show some ripple effect. The second point is it will be the simple. It will be complex. The third point is the system can extend it with changes in one place. On that bad design is it cannot be add a new function without only breaking an existing function. The fourth point is the logic is near the data it operates on. The fourth point is that we can't remember where all the implicitly linked changes have to take place. The fifth point is a good design costs less. The bad design has more cost. No need of logic duplication. Logic has to be duplicated. The next slide is design model. Let's just see about the design model concept. The design model principle and concept establishes a foundation for the creation of design model that encompasses representation of the data, the architecture interface and components like the analysis model before it. Each of the design representations is tied about the others and all can be traced back to the software requirements. The entity relationship diagram, that is ERD, the data flow diagrams, that is DFD, the transition diagrams, the STD, that is state transition diagrams, and the data dictionaries, DD, that are constructed during the requirements phase are directly mapped on the corresponding design model as shown below. The next slide is these are the design model concept diagram. On this, there is the two types of design model. Okay, let's just see about the design model. Data design, it transforms the information domain model created during analysis into data structure that will be required to the implement the software. The data objects or entities and relationship defined in ER diagram and the detailed data content deposited in the data dictionary provide the basis of the data design activity. Detailed data occurs as each software component is designed. The next is architectural design. It defines the relationship between the major structural elements of the software. The design patterns that can be used to achieve the requirements have been defined for the system. This design represents the forms of framework of a computer-based system. It can be derived from the system specification, the analysis model, and the interaction of the subsystem defined within the analysis model. The next one is interface design. It describes how the software communicates within the itself with the system that inappropriate with it and with humans who use it. An interface implies a flow of information and specific type of behavior. Therefore, data and control flow diagrams provide much of the information records of the interface design. The fourth component, level design. It transforms structural elements of the software architecture into the procedural description of the software components. Information obtained from the ER diagrams and data flow diagrams or STDs, that is state transition diagrams, serves as the basis of component design. The next slide is design process. The continuation of the design process. Software design is the iterative process through which requirements are translated into a blueprint for constructing the software. Initially, the blueprint depicts the holistic view of software, that is, the design is represented at a high level of abstraction, a level that can be directly traced to the specific system of the objectives. As design iterations occur, subsequent refinement leads to the design representation at the much lower levels of abstraction. McLaughlin suggests three characteristics that survive or serve as a guide for a evaluation of good design. The one is a design must implement all of the explicit requirements contained in the analysis model, and it must be accommodate of all the implicit requirements decided by the customer. The second point is design must be reliable, understandable guide for those who generate the code and for those test the support the software. The next point is let's see about the quality guidelines of the to good design. A design should be exhibit an architecture that the first point has been created using recognizable architectural styles or patterns. The next point is composed of components that exhibit good design characteristics. The next point is can be implemented in evolutionary fashion, thereby facilitating implementation and testing. The next point is the design should be modular, that is software that should be logically portionated into elements or subsystems. The next point is the design should contain a distinct representation of data architecture, interfaces, and components. The next point is a design should lead to data structure that are appropriate for the process to be implemented and are drawn from the recognizable data patterns. The next point is a design should not lead to the component that exhibit independent functional characteristics. The next point is a design should lead to the interface that reduce the complexity of connections between the components and with the external environment. A design should be derived using a repeatable method that is derived from the information obtained during software requirements analysis. A design should be represented using a notation that effectively communicates its meaning. The next point. The next is Davis design principle. Let's just see about the Davis design principle concept. The design should be process not suffer from the tunnel vision. A good designer should consider alternative approaches, judging based on the requirements of the problem and the resource available on the job. The design should traceable to the analysis model. It's necessary to have a means for tracking how requirements have been satisfied by the design model. The next point is the designer should not reinvent the wheel, that is used to set of design patterns already encountered to so that the new patterns are now new that are not renovated. Time is short and resources are limited. A design time should be invested in representing truly new ideas and integrating those patterns that are already exist. The design should minimize the intellectual distance between the software and problem as it exists in the real world. That is, the structure of the software design should mimic the structure of the problem domain. The design should be uniformity and the integration. A design is uniform if it appears that one person developed the entire thing. The rules of style and format be defined for a design team before design work begins. A design is integrated if care is taken in defining interfaces between design components. The design should be structured to accommodate change. The design should be structured to degrade the gently even when aberrant data, events, or operating conditions are encountered. Well, designed software should never bomb. It should be designed to accommodate unusual circumstances, and if it must terminate processor to do graceful manner. Next slide is. Thank you. Thank you for listening this section.